It doesn't sound like a good idea from where I'm standing, I have to say. I'm not quite sure what else, we can do.
Outside the ceremonial outings of the royal family where these royalties appear out of reach for the common person, there are few instances where we have been given a glimpse of what life might actually look like within the family. In these instances, we get to see that these royalties share some of the base characteristics of everyone, which defines their relationships with others. For a long time now, the media has always seen Princess Anne as not being as free as some others within the family, and they have uncovered some of the issues that she has had with other members of the royal family. You will be amazed at who has made it to the top of this list. Join us as we explore the life of one of the most hardworking members of the royal family, Princess Anne. Princess Anne was born on the 15th of August 1950 at Clarence House, London, as the second child, and only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Being born into the British royal family, Anne definitely had her childhood filled with formality attached to her lineage. This has been a quality that she has held on to the longest, and which has been the defining factor for most of her relationships with others. At the time of birth, Princess Anne was the second in line to the British throne after her brother Prince Charles. But then her position changed with the births of her younger brothers, Princes Andrew and Edward, and later with the births of Charles's children and grandchildren. Given that, Princess Anne now stands 17th in the line of succession. These laws of succession have since been altered to full equality between the sexes. Princess Anne's educational career followed the usual pattern for royalties, which was private tutoring blended with formal schooling. A governess first taught her in her early years. After that, she attended Benenden School in Kent and finished her schooling there. In Benenden, she was a disciplined pupil who sat for the O and A levels there. Princess Anne attended no university, though her education had been complete with all the knowledge and skills for tasks related to her future public service. It was in 1968, on her 18th birthday, that she became a full-fledged member of the royal family, launching her into an entirely different world of public duty. The first major engagement that she carried out as a working royal was to go on official tours and engagements with her parents and brother. Besides her official engagements, Princess Anne has been much noted for her charity work, especially with Save the Children UK, of which she became president in 1970. Since then, she has supported many causes, mostly those close to children, education, and sports. Her investment in everyday matters concerning the royal family, along with her deeply personal interests, has won her the trust of the public and her colleagues in the ranks of the royal family. Princess Anne's early life and the manner in which she came into the limelight of the royal family are perfect examples of how well she showed dedication to the crown and the causes close to her heart. She had always led a life that seemed to ring out with the call of duty, similar to her parents. Princess Anne is generally thought to be one of the hardest working and most dedicated members of the British royal family, particularly in view of her enormous contribution to charity. She has, year after year, been listed as one of the busiest royals, many times topping the numbers for the number of public engagements carried out during a year. Unwavering dedication to charity work, topped with a pragmatic, no-nonsense approach to royal duties, has made her appealing to the general public and tagged her as a true working royal. One of the most prestigious charities Princess Anne has been a part of for an extended period of time is Save the Children UK, where she has been president since 1970. The charity, under the leadership of Princess Anne, has grown enormously, especially in offering support to children in crises the world over. She has visited scores of countries on behalf of this charity to bring global attention to especially vulnerable children. She has visited conflict zones and refugee camps, underlining her determination to see some real changes take place. Apart from Save the Children, Princess Anne is a patron and president of more than 300 organizations involved in an array of causes relating to education, health, sports, and the armed forces. For example, her interest in equestrian sports made her president of the British Olympic Association and a member of the International Olympic Committee. Love for horses and also competitive spirit saw her compete in the Olympics of 1976 as an equestrian rider, a feat that epitomized her personal commitment other than royal duties. So, one thing that defines Princess Anne in her role within the royal family is a strong work ethic bound by duty, placing her apart from many. She is taken by her pragmatism and refusal to seek the limelight, allowing her to focus on how best she can get a job well done rather than hankering for public applause. This has brought her considerable respect among the British, who like her directness and dedication to service over a celebrity lifestyle. One of the things that have made her popular is, among others, her independence. Unlike most of her peers in royalty, Anne has always kept her personal life low-key and seldom attracts the attention of the media. Her preference for a life of service rather than glamour resonates well with so many people who value her humility. Although one of the Queen's children, she made it a point not to grant her children royal titles to show that they should make their way in life, untainted by what would be expected from members of the royal family. Another characteristic that defines Princess Anne is her sense of responsibility. Relatively outspoken about the demands of the royal life she was obliged to live, her work for and dedication to charitable causes have made her the people's princess. She often affirms the importance of self-reliance, duty, and work fundamental values in her life. Through decades of tireless public service, Princess Anne has carved a name for herself as one of the most respected and hard-working members of the royal family. Her no-nonsense and result-oriented approach to charity work, combined with her dedication to duty over celebrity, has made her a favorite among the British people. However, Princess Anne has faced several ups and downs throughout her life, both in her position as royalty and personally. Among them all, the most disturbing was an attempt on her life in 1974. On the night of the 20th of March, while Princess Anne and her then-husband, Captain Mark Phillips, were heading their way back to Buckingham Palace, their car came under ambush by a man identified as Ian Ball. Ball attempted to kidnap Anne, demanding a ransom of £2 million. As terrifying as it must have been, Anne allegedly replied, "Not bloody likely," as he demanded that she get out of the car. This resulted in great praise for her for showing calmness and bravery. The attacker was soon subdued by her bodyguard, police officers, and a passing civilian. This sealed Anne's reputation as one of the most resilient and strong-willed people who never take life situations, however hazardous they may be, seriously. Over the years, Princess Anne also had to bear family tensions, especially at a time when the royal family was being increasingly scrutinized by the public eye. Most noticeable, perhaps, of these was during the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle back in 2018. Since Harry and Meghan had already caused rifts within the family concerning the pre- and post-wedding arrangements, Anne kept her cool, as she usually does, in her typical graceful manner. Speculation ran rife on how the family was disconcerted by Meghan, mainly because of her being biracial. But Princess Anne did her duties as she had to by the royal rule and avoided making public comments on anything. Another event full of so much emotion was the 2021 interment of Prince Philip, and it was a place where Princess Anne's composure did not go unnoticed. Anne, with her no-nonsense, practical sense of humor and commitment to the call of duty, was particularly close to her dearly loved father, Philip. The family dynamics were once again under the spotlight, especially because of Meghan Markle, who, citing her pregnancy as a reason, opted not to join the service. There was also some evident tension within the royal family, with many believing that there was relief among the royals since Meghan wasn't around to stir their emotions. Princess Anne kept her grace and focus during this time. Meghan Markle, in an interview with Oprah Winfrey, had to bring out buried issues deep inside the royal family, some touching on race. Meghan said there was a worry concerning the color of her and Harry's future children's skin. While Princess Anne did not comment on these accusations publicly, the revelations nonetheless caused a media storm that put attention on the royal family's approach towards race and inclusion. Meghan certainly fired up the debate over the monarchy's modernization and changing with the times in regard to its treatment of people from different backgrounds. All ups and downs notwithstanding, Princess Anne has still retained her image as a stern and professional royal, one who places duty above everything. Certainly that strong character in meeting personal and public adversity has won her considerable respect within the royal family and among the British public. However, Princess Anne's issues within the royal family neither started nor stopped with Meghan Markle. One of the strongest royal tensions she went through was with Princess Diana, whose relationship with Anne highlights the differences in personality and approach toward public life. Whereas Anne was ever the stoic, no-nonsense sort and avoided the limelight, Diana relished the public's attention. Diana's cooperation with the media to highlight her causes drove tension between the two women. Anne preferred to work more in the background, where she felt it was more traditionally appropriate to work in charity work. With Diana's more open personality, she came off as candidly open, warm, and personable. As the people's princess, she held an innate charm among the public. Her causes, such as her efforts with AIDS patients and her work with organizations calling for the banning of landmines, attracted wide publicity. She broke new ground by using the media to highlight her charitable work, making her an internationally recognized icon of empathy and humanitarianism. This was in direct contrast to Princess Anne's more subdued approach. Anne herself was a busy charity worker, notably through her long-standing association with Save the Children, but very much eclipsed by Diana's powerful media magnetism. Anne preferred to make her contributions in a quieter manner, devoid of all the glamour associated with it, and which did not seek publicity through the media. This difference in approach reportedly led to some tension between the two women, including concerns by Anne that Diana relied too heavily on media publicity relating to her charity work. Both royals were truly committed to philanthropy. However, their contrasting styles developed into a source of quiet rivalry. Another point of contention was the family's decision to exclude Anne as a godmother to Diana's children, Prince William and Prince Harry. Traditionally, senior royals are often chosen to be godparents to royal offspring, but in the case of Diana's children, Anne was passed over. This was seen as a notable snub, particularly given her standing in the family. Instead, William and Harry's godparents came from other members of the royal family and close friends. By seemingly sidestepping Anne, the rift between her and Diana was only furthered. Princess Diana was born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1, 1961, in Sandringham. She came from an aristocratic family and was closely related to the royal family. She married Prince Charles in 1981, in what was initially seen as a fairy tale wedding. Their marriage soon proved troubled, largely because of Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles and Diana's struggles with life in the royal spotlight. But whatever personal troubles she had, Diana's empathy and charm won her adoration all over the world. The tragic death in 1997 definitely shocked everyone, even Anne. Whereas Diana let her emotions spill over, Anne was private and practical about life. Anne was brought up in the more traditional set of the royals, where duty was more important than personal publicity, and this temperamental difference built reservations between them. This confrontation was not actually a personal rivalry, but a clash between old and new ways of the royal lifestyle. The tension between Anne and other members of the family, including Meghan and Diana, underlines the strong adherence she displays to traditional royal values and a belief. Wherever Anne has found herself, perhaps not seeing eye to eye with those moving toward a more modern approach, one thing has remained constant, which is her steadfast commitment to duty. But then there are those like Cherie Blair, who has had her fair share of friction with members, including Princess Anne. Being outspoken, progressive, and having had a legal career, have often put Cherie in conflict with the more traditional expectations placed upon members of a royal family, thus causing a strain between herself and them. The no-nonsense Princess Anne apparently did not see eye to eye with Cherie. One of the sticking points seemed to be Cherie's perceived disregard for some aspects of royal custom. In 2000, it was widely reported that Cherie Blair refused to curtsy to the Queen when the latter was meeting senior members of the royal family. This was a serious breach of protocol as far as Princess Anne was concerned, as she is a traditionalist when it comes to these customs. Indeed, the cool attitude that Cherie has toward royal protocol sometimes embarrasses others in the royal household and further dented her relationship with Anne. Further still, the memoirs of Cherie Blair, entitled Speaking for Myself, further strained relationships with the royal family. She makes personal disclosures about the royals in that book and relates, for example, how she conceived her youngest son Leo during a stay at Balmoral Castle, because she had forgotten to pack her contraceptives due to the formality of meeting the Queen. This was seen as embarrassing and inappropriate by royal watchers, further adding to the strain between Cherie and the royal family, including Princess Anne, who values discretion and privacy in such matters. Notably also, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, and the ex-wife of Prince Andrew, had her own share of problems with Princess Anne. Sarah, affectionately known as Fergie, had a far more laid-back and fun atmosphere as a member of the royal family than Anne's stern seriousness can always allow. Whereas Fergie initially charmed the media and public alike with her down-to-earth nature and jolly personality, this perhaps made her the victim of criticism within royal circles. Perhaps one of the most argued points between Sarah Ferguson and Princess Anne was regarding the media attention heaped upon Fergie. Anne has always tried to remain out of the limelight and was reportedly rankled by the way in which Fergie's high-profile antics often upstaged Anne's charitable work. This, coupled with the media's obsession with Sarah and her regular coverage in the tabloids, was a source of friction, as it often detracted attention from Anne, whose hard work on behalf of her numerous charities rarely enjoyed such press. The coolness between Sarah Ferguson and the royal family became more pronounced after her divorce from Prince Andrew in 1996. Fergie's scandals after divorce, including the compromising pictures taken with her financial advisor, brought a great deal of embarrassment to the royal family. Anne, a stickler for decorum and duty, reportedly found those episodes distasteful and damaging to the royal image, further widening the gap between her and Sarah. Both Cherie Blair and Sarah Ferguson represent individuals whose more relaxed and often controversial behavior was somewhat in conflict with Princess Anne's traditional, duty-first approach to royal life. In a broader respect, Anne's friction with both women reflects her commitment to preserving the values of the monarchy and maintaining its public image, even as others around her embraced more modern and informal ways. At the top of the list of people who Princess Anne might hate is Camilla. Princess Anne's apprehensions towards Camilla, Queen Consort, run rather deep due to both family dynamics and personal history. First of all, Camilla had a long-term affair with Anne's brother, King Charles III, when he was married to Princess Diana. Anne, who values duty and tradition, probably viewed this as damaging to the good standing of the monarchy and also as part of the reason for the failure of the marriage between Charles and Diana. Anne, always true to royal tradition, undoubtedly bristled under the public and personal fallout that Charles and Camilla's very public affair created for the monarchy. But what truly puts a damper on Anne and Camilla's relationship is that they share a romantic history with Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's first husband. Anne was in a relationship with Parker Bowles in the early 1970s, but they broke up due to royal rules forcing Anne to marry someone more high class. Eventually, Andrew did marry Camilla, which could add an element to Anne's discomfort and personal basis. It is not clear exactly how much the shared romance affects their dynamic, but it certainly adds an intricate layer. Yet despite these personal and historical tensions, Anne and Camilla have maintained decorum and professionalism. Both are practiced at meeting the public requirements placed upon them for their positions within the senior ranks of the royal family. In public, Anne has demonstrated a dedication to royal duty above personal sentiment. Camilla, who gained acceptance incrementally within the family, also knows the need for unity. So both women have decided to park whatever personal differences they may have for a stable, respectful front for the monarchy's sake and emphasize what is good for the institution. That will be all for this video, and we hope to have you when we upload the next one.